All right, here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my monthly calls. It's been a little while since I have done one of these. I've been away a little bit and traveling, and also a little bit unorganized, if I'm completely honest. But I'm going to be making up for it. I've got two calls I'm going to be doing this month with special guests. And the first one today is Elise Tuminopoulos. It's a bit of a handful. I like to call her Elise Tumo. It's a lot easier, but I thought I'd better introduce the whole surname. I'm so excited to have you as my first interview, I guess, for the month and after a couple of months off. So first of all, for anyone who's never been on one of my calls before, I am Carla Thomas. I am a holistic counsellor in mind-body medicine. I am also an I Quit Sugar expert. I'm a whole food cheerleader and NMD with the Juice Plus company, and I've also recently become a published author. I have a new book out called The Juicy Movement, A Holistic Approach to Clean Living, which is available online via my website and Stockist, which are listed on there too. So today I'm going to be talking to Elise all about Pilates. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I have loved Pilates for what it's about. I was actually using the Reformers machines myself from when I was about 14 due to a really bad back and no core strength whatsoever from acrobating, and it definitely fixed things up a lot for me, as well as utilising exercise at home. But I've always found I've enjoyed doing different types of, I guess, exercise that naturally include different Pilates exercises rather than actually doing Pilates. And I've always been like, I'm not interested, it's boring and not for me, blah, blah, blah. But Elise actually has changed that around. Elise and I have been in contact for a little while, but it's taken until this year for us to finally actually catch up. You know, she's all about creating a movement with Pilates. I'm about creating a movement with holistic health. And she said to me, why don't you come to class first and then we'll go catch up for a cuppa? And I thought, oh, okay, I'll do the right thing and come along. And I honestly really loved it to the point that I've now been going and doing that Tuesday morning 7 a.m. class regularly with her now. And I said to Elise, I think it was after a couple of weeks, I said, I don't know if like this is normal because it's not like I was weak before, but I'm noticing a massive difference when I head to yoga later that day and just in everything in general. And she said, no, that sounds about right. It's gonna really impact all the other exercises you do. So I've really fallen in love with the style that Elise does, but more than anything, I've really fallen in love with her knowledge and her passion. The way she teaches and instructs, it's so easy to follow. And I actually like that educational part of it because it makes me want to work harder when I know exactly what's going on at the same time. So that's why I wanted to get Elise on the call, because I'm all about sharing different aspects of health that you can apply and that might be right for you and fit for you. And Pilates just might be one of those things. We include some Pilates exercises in my client programs, the Juicy Life program, as well. So obviously, you know, it shows that we know that it makes a difference. But I thought it would be great to get Elise on and have her speak herself about the benefits of Pilates and a bit on a journey. So just before we get started, I'm going to read out a little bit about Elise so you can see why she's so amazing at what she does. So Elise is actually a former high-performance springboard and platform diver, and she's now an internationally certified Pilates instructor through Polestar Pilates. She's passionate about functional movement, and she launched her business, The Movement Society, in 2015 with the intention of sharing positive movement experiences, which she does well. So Elise was the first person to receive an individual diving scholarship with the West Australian Institute of Sport. And after she retired from diving in 2005, she completed her Bachelor of Commerce at UWA, so the University of Western Australia, for anyone not in WA, which led her to spend 3 years in corporate investment finance. She basically decided to take the leap and followed her heart back to movement, and she commenced her Pilates training in 2012. Elise aims to make her classes inspiring, challenging, fun, and above all results focused, which they definitely are. I can speak from experience. And she amplifies traditional Pilates to incorporate dynamic movement challenges in both standing, mat, and balance work. So without further ado, Elise, welcome on today.
Hi, thanks for having me and for that amazing introduction.
Oh,
I feel like I don't say now.
Well, honestly, I've been so amazed at just, as I said, the results for myself and how much I've actually really fallen in love with looking forward to those exercises, those classes that I'm doing with you. So I would absolutely love, I mean, I've given everyone a bit of a rundown, on you, but I always believe your personal story and your journey is so important and where it all starts. So I'd love for you to share a bit about your journey into Pilates and what actually led you into going that way.
Yeah, cool. So as you've said, so my background was springboard and platform diving. So I was an elite athlete training, up to 11 times a week for a good maybe 10 years. So very much movement focused for a long time. And when I stopped that, I found it really hard to, I guess, find the motivation to go back and work out. I was so used to being, I guess, told to go and like having to be there, every single day. So I think I probably had a couple of years almost off movement in general. Tried a couple of things, and then it wasn't probably until maybe third year of being in my finance degree that I tried Pilates. One of my girlfriends said, "Let's go do like a trial class," and just absolutely fell in love with it. I fell in love with the fact that it's a smart way to move. So it's not just about, changing the way your body looks, but also learning how by moving properly, you can change the way it feels, it functions, it kind of helps everything else. So then I guess like default, fell in love with it from kind of not doing anything, and then started my Polestar Pilates journey. So that's the training that I did. And absolutely loved Pilates. I then also started to teach things like extend bar, which is like a bar method, TRX, which is the straps. And there was little bits and pieces of each that I really loved. And so when starting the Movement Society, I guess, as opposed to the Pilates Society, I wanted it to be, I guess, everything that's good movement inclusive. So I love the precision of what Pilates offers, but then, I love what maybe the flow of yoga has, or the transitions of, say, dance. And so like marrying them into something that still keeps the body safe and still, has that whole body movement experience. But if it makes your body feel good, and why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Question.
Yeah, no, it did. And I love exactly what you said. You just took the parts that you love about other things, you do as well, and incorporate it all with that foundation of Pilates. And I can see that come through. I mean, I know you do yoga regularly because your cousin Soph is a beautiful yoga instructor, and maybe that's why I like your classes being an ex-dancer as well. A little bit of flow.
A bit of flow, just to keep everyone moving. And how you said sometimes, you can get bored in Pilates. It takes a lot of patience. So sometimes it's like you almost need people to move first and then start to like digest later. Because if it's too much information and you're kind of getting them to breathe for an hour, they'll lose. They don't want to do it. You wrap resistant bands around their bottom, and then you get them really feeling it. They're like, oh, hang on, this is actually worth listening to.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. So tell us a little bit about, what's the aim behind Pilates? What's the point of it? Why should we be doing it? And the Movement Society, and what are the benefits that we can be experiencing by practicing Pilates regularly?
Yeah, absolutely. So Pilates is, it's about with whole body movement, integrating the body, the mind, and the breath. It's I guess the way I look at Pilates is it's kind of teaching a body how to put themselves in the most optimal position. So setting themselves up so that they succeed in both movement on and off the mat. So becoming aware, becoming strong, becoming balanced, moving in every direction so that everything you do, both on the mat and off the mat, is improved. So you'll see a lot of people that maybe have a back injury that then go and do rehab via Pilates. Or so there's that kind of clinical side of it, but then there's the ability to kind of learn how to move. And unlike, I guess, going to the gym to just work out, it's about, we sit all day, we're very much in a world of very roundness. It's like reversing all of that, creating a little bit more rotation, a little bit more side bending, just so you feel kind of better, move better. With regards to the benefits, kind of everything I've talked about. So becoming aware of how your body moves, make you stronger in everything else you do. I like the fact that you get stronger without bulking. Coming from, this is a little bit like vain, but coming from back when I was diving, my body was a completely different shape. I was very muscly, kind of, I guess, stocky. And so I associated exercise with like bulking. So when I stopped doing movement, I was like, sweet, like I'm, I guess, a little bit leaner, but not strong. So I love that you can get the strength without the bulk from like a little bit of a vanity point of view. It'll teach you balance. Sorry, Mike. Kind of just balance and overall strength. It's something that you can do and make everything else better, or stand alone as I do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you said, it's really that basis for functional movement in all other aspects. And that's probably why, like I said to you, even just from 1 to 2 classes, even though I was already fairly strong, you were obviously activating areas of my muscles that I hadn't thought about. So when I was taking those into other classes, I could feel that strength.
Yeah, totally. Really good point. So we kind of work, I guess, the smaller stabilizing muscles that sometimes don't have a chance to turn on. We kind of put the body in the right spot. So your muscles are really smart. And so if you kind of put the bones in the right spot, and the muscles kind of know how to work. So that comes back to, taking the time to set people up, and then they're going to really feel, like you said, muscles that you didn't even know you had. Like core
Yeah, exactly. So is there an age that somebody should like start, doing Pilates from? Like, do you wish you had done it earlier during your diving days? Should you be an athlete? Should when you're older?
I wish I did it when I was diving. I feel my body moves probably better now than when I was diving. So I, 100% wish I was doing it when I was diving. It's one of those things I'd started as early as I could. No age, like Joseph Pilates says, your spine is old if your spine is inflexible at 20, young if it's flexible at 60.
Yeah, that's a really good quote.
Yeah, you can start it at any age. It's like low impact, so it's kind of soft on the joints and stuff. But yes, start whenever, as soon as you, I guess, want to be there.
Yeah, and so classes and techniques are always generally adaptable, I imagine, to age or injuries and things like that as well, to work around them.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way I teach my classes, I like kind of layer in the level of challenge. So we'll start with, say, a foundational exercise, kind of set someone up, and then, it's a beautiful place for someone to say stay, that feels enough, and then offering elements of challenge so that you're kind of still moving as a group, but then the people that want a little bit more challenge can kind of take the progressions, and then the people that are happy working on the kind of the foundational movement have somewhere to stay and still feel kind of included. And that also then gives you, I guess, week by week, the ability to kind of see, oh look, I'm able to add in that progression, or I've got somewhere to go back to if it feels too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
It's not so much age, it's more just, I guess, where you're at. Some people might have lots of mobility but then not enough strength, so they've got to maybe work in a smaller range, where some people are really strong but then have got no mobility, so then they will, so it's, I guess, each body has somewhere to go.
Yeah, that's awesome. Elise, I've just popped your website into the chat section. For anyone that is going to listen to this recording, it won't be in there. So if you do want to head to Elise's website, I'm just going to say that now. It's www.mvmtsociety.com.au. I'm sure you could Google it as well. Find her on Facebook and, of course, on Instagram. So, Elise, where do you, just for any people who are listening, where do you teach at the moment? Where can people find you?
Cool, they can find me. So all the mornings we teach out of K2 Dance in Mosman Park. So beautiful studio overlooking the beach in Mosman Park. And then in the evenings, we're at the Cottesloe Civic Centre. So another beautiful studio on the ocean. So very spoiled.
Yeah, very.
In the mornings, in the evenings, Cottesloe.
Fabulous. And for those who are listening, that is in Perth, by the way. But no, that's okay. And I haven't been to the Cottesloe one yet, but where I'm practicing with Elise is in the Mosman Park studio, and that time in the morning, especially now, I can tell it's actually really beautiful as the sun's coming up as well. So, Elise, what about those who aren't in Perth, or, for example, very out of that way to get there? How can somebody find the kind of Pilates, do you know what I mean, studio or place they're looking for? What can you recommend to look for?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if they wanted to stay at home and do workouts, we've just started to film some movement at home workouts, which will be really fun.
That's exciting.
When I'm looking for a studio, I mean, everyone's after different things. I look for people that have, you know, Polestar trained, so that's the same training as what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Or I look for, I'd base, so depending where you're at, I would go to something, firstly, that's Pilates based. You could either go on the machines or on the mat, but I think it's really about finding something that you can, I guess, have easily, something that you can easily add to your lifestyle. Like Pilates is the kind of thing that you can do once and it can be a little bit overwhelming. You can do it twice, but through repetition, you really get it and you see the changes. So more on finding the perfect studio, I think it's finding a studio that works for you and I guess your lifestyle, and then just giving it a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Because while we, you know, provide a different version of Pilates, even Pilates in its truest form, it's, you know, it's fabulous. It's going to teach you so much, but it's just about, again, you know, giving it a little bit of time. I mean, I know you'll fall in love after the first session like you did, but I think it's really about finding the studio that works for you. Each instructor will offer something different and use that as an opportunity to learn something or go online, to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that you guys, like you said, you've been filming now, so a lot of people can't get out of the house. I mean, as I said, that's why we put together with another beautiful instructor that, you know, I work with some exercises in the programs I use with my clients, because a lot of people just need something that they can do at home that's quite easy to do. So, Elise, before we sort of wrap it up, is there anything that you would love to share that maybe I haven't asked, or any last tips?
I guess when you do come to a Pilates class or whatever class you go to, just coming with the mindset of you can work out and get the results in terms of, you know, your body looking better and feeling better, but you can also actually change the way you function. So I know a lot of people are in pain, and you don't have to be in pain. So I think it's very empowering being able to do something that's twofold, in that, yes, it's going to help your bottom be better and your core be tighter, but it's actually going to make you feel and function. You know, you can run around again, or go for your runs without, you know, your hips being bothered, so it's kind of pretty amazing in the fact that it's not only just about aesthetics, which we all care about and that's kind of gets us through our last rep, but it's actually doing what your spine needs and what your body needs to be able to continue moving until your old ages.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love that, and I think that's why I love the concept of Pilates and that whole holistic philosophy, because it is about longevity. You know, it's not necessarily about having to put a lot of pressure on the body, or you know, especially for those who have like issues. And yeah, it's really, and it's also very much strong on a mind-body connection, which I'm also about. You really, during that hour, because everything's moved at such a nice slow pace generally, you really feel it. I can guarantee you that. But you kind of have, you slow down enough to actually be able to really stop, connect, just be in that moment and breathe through it, which I think is really important, because that's the kind of practice you can take into your day. Like really always consciously making that time to sit, you know, be present, aware, connect, mind, body, breathe. So, you know, that whole aspect is fantastic.
Yoga, which I absolutely love, but I find it really hard to stay focused. Where with Pilates, because there's so much instruction and thinking, it's like for someone that doesn't want to sit down and meditate, it's almost in a way the way I meditate, in that I'm totally distracted, because like left hand, right hand, or what to wear, you know, you're thinking about what you're doing. So it kind of tricks you into forgetting about what you've got on for that day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree with that, because I'm very much like you in that sense. Like I try during other things to stay present, but my mind goes elsewhere. But you kind of have no choice for this because, like you said, you can't really do the exercises or be right. You can't be distracted. You need to think and be in that spot, which is a really good practice to have. So awesome. Oh, thank you so much for giving me your time this morning, Elise. I really appreciate you just sharing, you know, your passion for Pilates. And I have no doubt this is, you know, if anyone listens to this, please be inspired to give it a go because, like I said, I was very stubborn and I was adamant that I did not want to do Pilates classes. They weren't for me. And now look at
why, when you thought Pilates, did you think like, because everyone thinks Pilates is yoga, so I'm forever explaining that it's not yoga. I would love to know, like, if you had to describe Pilates before my classes, what you'd say. Right, am I not?
No, I didn't think it was yoga because, as I said, I understand Pilates because I do the aspect of Pilates-based work in other areas, but not just a specific Pilates class. So you may do Pilates core aspects in CX, so you might have done it in yoga, or you might do a circuit class that uses back work. You know what I mean? But the idea of just doing Pilates, I guess, was very much about just mat work and this and that. But as I said, the flow and the movements you do, and using bands and discs and things like that, yeah, I guess that really just opened up my eyes. So not to be so judgmental and give something a go, you know. And as you said, it could just be your style. I could have gone to another Pilates class and gone, nah, it's not what I wanted, not for me. But personally,
you for the sliding disc and the resistance band, a bit like me.
yeah, you know, I loved it. So we did, Elise and I did a little video, I think it was after my first class. What do you call it? A little boomerang of my sliding disc.
Stuffing it up, and you had to do it like 15 times.
Yeah. So we don't recommend that, but it was fun. But I'm going to wrap it up. So for anyone that is in Perth and is looking to have their mind blown and get out of their forward thinking or straight narrow thinking around Pilates, I do recommend trying Elise's class. Elise and I are actually going to be doing a workshop on the morning of Tuesday, July 18th. Elise will be taking her regular 9:30 a.m. class for an hour, and then 30 minutes afterwards I will be sharing with beautiful attendees some other daily rituals and holistic aspects they can be bringing into their life around movement, which they're doing with Elise. And we'll keep you posted with a potential one possibly towards the end of July we're looking at. So you can follow Elise, as I said, on Facebook, on Instagram, or check out her website. And the recording of this will also be available on my website as well. So thank you so much, Elise, and I'm going to leave it there.
Thank you for having me. Bye.